in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2 races, count them, 2 races remain here in the regular season for Season 4 of the NNSCRA Pizza Hut X Series, as we are getting ever closer to determining the 12 drivers that will battle for this season Pizza Hut X Series chase for the championship. We continue week after week after week to get new names that pop up into contention for one of those 12 spots. Last week at Daytona, a new name was added in the form of, or I'm sorry, not last week, 2 weeks ago I should say, we had a new name that was added in the form of J Yepez, and last week we saw at the, and now the name of the track has escaped my mind. I just had it in my mind. Gateway, thank you. We had at Gateway, Cody Llamas now enter into the mix. So far this season, we have had, I believe, in our 18 races, somewhere around 16 different race winners. And as I said, there's only 12 available spots in this season's playoffs. Right now, those 12 spots are currently held by Scott Roush. He's the only multi-time winner right now that is locked into the playoffs, as N Hudson still remains outside the top 30 in points. And the other 11 spots right now are held by points leader Chris Dollerton, M McIntire, Jordan Lopez, Joshua Osborne, Carson Gum, Seth Cole, Cody Llamas, Yin Canario, Aubrey Eselstein, Mark Davidson, and Charles Jackson. Drivers that are on the outside looking in, they're inside the top 30 in points, include Justin Tucker, Dougie Shears, and D Yepez. You can bet tonight they would love to be able to go to victory lane for the second time this season to all but confirm themselves a spot in the playoffs. But you've got still N Hudson, 33rd in points. He's only 6 points out of the top 30 in the standings. A good run here tonight. He could be back in the top 30, and just like that, Eselstein, Canario, Davidson, Jackson, they could find themselves previously being in and then being out. And we've got some drivers that have got wins this season. They're outside the top 30 in points. They're trying to get in there to have their win count towards a spot, like J Shelly, 36th in standings. We'll have to keep an eye on him as he's maybe going to try and chase his second win of the season. On the front row, though, we've got some candidates that also would like to get their first win of the season. A Baranauskas comes into this race currently situated 20th in the point standing. She was actually up in the top 10 in points for a good portion of the season, but things have kind of gone south since then, trying to bounce back here tonight. And J Deaver in the 15. He comes into this race currently situated in the 41st position in points, so definitely looking for a good run as we get the command.
Start your engines!
And he's got good starting track position here tonight, rolling off from the second position. But track position is not exactly that important when you come to a track like this. It's more like being in the right place at the right time. I've said this track's a mile in length, but it's almost like a super speedway. They're going to run 3 wide, several rows deep. They're going to have a tough time holding on in the lead. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have to see who's going to be in the right place at the right time at the close of this race. Your top 10, the points coming into this race are really close. I did not expect this late in the season for it to be as close as it is. Chris Dollerton's the points leader, 3 points over both J Jefferson and J Navarro, only 4 points over Quentin Moore and M McIntire. 6 points back is Jordan Lopez. The top 6 are separated by 6 points, and the rest of the top 10 are Steve Morgan, Chloe Ericsson, Alex Gray, and Phil Parker. 3 of our top 10 in points do not have a win coming to this race as the green flag's in the air. Let's roll at Hillside. front, not letting anybody get to her inside, at least for this first lap. She'll get the bonus point for leading the first lap of the evening. Now here comes Jordan Lopez to the bottom. Lopez, former winner this season, looking for his second win. He comes into this race 6th in the point standings, so if he can go to victory lane for a second time with where he's situated in points and there really only being one race after this, then he would pretty much be locked into the playoffs. I believe right now that there are some drivers at this point in time that are locked into the playoffs. They will make it into the playoffs regardless of what happens here tonight and next, well, in 2 weeks I should say, at M&M's. Those drivers include Scott Roush, 2-time winner, and also Chris Dollerton, Matt McIntire, Jordan Lopez, Joshua Osborne, Carson Dunn, Seth Cole. They will make the playoffs regardless of what happens here tonight and at M&M's. Some drivers tonight that could lock themselves up playoff spots if they have a good run this evening include Cody Lamas, Yin Canario, and Aubrey Edelstein. Just going to have to wait and see how it all plays out as the battle for the lead is over as soon as it was on. Garrett Sydnor to the top spot. Sydnor, a contender for the championship in the Hershey's Cup Series last season. Now down the Pizza Hut X Series, comes into this race currently situated in the 18th position in points. If he got to victory lane here tonight, he'd be in the playoffs probably. Phil Parker now going to look to his inside, the lone driver from Michael Norman Motorsports that's yet to go to victory lane. Comes into this race 10th in points, so if he got a win, he'd lock himself up a spot in the playoffs. And here comes Eli Bright in the 12, along with last week's, or 2 weeks ago's winner, I should say, Diego Yepez in the 21. As a matter of fact, you got 3 Srigley Motorsports Fords right there. The 12, the 21, and then the 02 of Ben Braley. Eli Bright's last win, it was in the Tax Slayer Truck Series season finale last year at Auto Club. Trying to get his, I believe it would be his second career Pizza Hut X Series victory. I think he was a former Pizza Hut X Series winner when he drove the 05. I think that was back in season 2? Might have been season 1. As now he'll go side by side with his teammate Diego Yepez, who, if Yepez can pick up a second win this year, he would probably lock himself up a spot in the playoffs. Of course, Diego Yepez winning the 7th annual NNSCRA Royal Rumble a couple of days ago. So, definitely a lot of momentum on the side of that 21 car, but he's going to have to get by his teammate for the top spot if he's going to have a chance. Looking real quickly here to see about Eli Bright. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was season 2 that Eli Bright drove the 05, and let's see if indeed he did go to victory lane. It seems like I recall he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, went to victory lane at Texas. He was actually in the playoffs that year as well. Finished 7th of 12 drivers in season 2. So trying to win here. He comes into this race currently 23rd in points. So if he got a win, he would definitely be in the conversation for one of those 12 playoff positions. One thing I'm noticing too here, as opposed to last night Truck Series race, Eli Bright's doing a good job holding on to the race lead. It was very difficult for drivers to hold on to the top spot in the truck race last night, but now maybe it'll change because I believe the caution is out for the first time here tonight on lap 13. So that's going to bring everybody back to Eli Bright's back bumper, and incident there into turn 3. I believe that's where our caution took place in our truck race last night, as Scott Roush, one of the drivers that's locked into the playoffs, well, if he had to take a DNF at a race, I guess this would be the place to do it and not during the playoffs. A lot of damage though on his Advocare Ford. Got a couple drivers back here. Cody Lamas, Aubrey Edelstein, and Mark Davidson, all former winners. Cody, of course, our winner last time out at Gateway. I can't tell if there's rear end damage on the 48 or not. There might be, but it doesn't look like anything really significant. So Eli Bright leads us under caution. These drivers will probably not have to pit. I think they can make it the full 40 lap distance on fuel, and this caution will certainly help. So let's take a look and see what brought out the yellow flag for the first time here tonight at Hillside. Yeah, you can see right there, this culminated on the back straightaway. Scott Roush into the left rear quarter panel of Mark Davidson, turns him down into Cody Llamas. Joshua Hyatt may have gotten a little piece of that in the 92. Actually got more than a little piece, and it looks like Jake Rogers also got involved in the 16. Angel Navarro and Carson Gum also swept up in it, and a little driver door damage for the 96 of Zach Flickinger. Immediately, black smoke erupting from underneath the hood of the Advocare Ford, so Scott Roush is out of this one. You see front end damage there on Carson Gum. Cody Llamas backed it into the outside wall, so I think that's where his rear end damage came from, and doesn't look like a whole lot of significant damage on the 29 car. I would kind of question how much damage was sustained on the 16 of Jake Rogers, because that was some front end nose contact that he made. But like I said, I mean, if you're Scott Roush, you're already locked into the playoffs. You're 11th in the points with 2 wins. You can't fall out of the top 30 in the points. If you're going to have a DNF, better to have it here during the regular season, knowing you're going to make the playoffs, than when the playoffs come around with the championship on the line. But that's what brings out the caution for the first time tonight. Let's go back for the restart. We haven't gotten the signal 1 lap to green yet. We'll probably get it this time and probably go back racing on lap 18 of 40. So far, we've had 2 cars go behind the wall as a result of that wreck, including Scott Roush and Carson Gum, 2 drivers that at this point in time were basically locked into the playoffs, so both of them still will probably make the playoffs, but like I said, if you're going to get a DNF, do it now when a championship is not on the line. So they're going through 3 and 4. When they hit the line, we should have the lights go out top the pace car. Let's give you as good a rundown of the field as we possibly can. Eli Bright is the race leader. Diego Yepez lines up in second. So right now it is Srigley Motorsports 1 and 2. Phil Parker currently in third for the restart. Fourth will be Chelsea Bowles. Definitely looking for a turnaround to her season, as was the runner-up for the championship last year and now comes into this race situated 39th in the point standings. That's third to last for those keeping score at home. William Brock, who also is way down the bottom of the point standings, lines up in 5th. 6th place is James Qualls. He is the driver that is dead last in the point standings, so obviously he'd like a good run here tonight. Dougie Shears lines up in 7th. 8th is A Baranauskas. 9th is Nathan Hudson, and completing the top 10 is Jessica Miles. Nathan Hudson, restarting in 9th place, has to make it into the top 30 in the points for his 2 wins this season to count towards a playoff position. And as we documented, he comes into this race currently 6 points back from 30th in the standings. Some drivers that are ahead of him in the points coming into this race: Ashlyn Boyd, Joshua Hyatt, and Zach Flickinger. And he is running ahead of all 3 of them currently on track. So we'll keep tabs on him. Another entry out of Srigley Motorsports. The green flag is in the air once again. Which actually makes me remember to a statement I made back at Daytona when Diego Yepez went to victory lane. I believe I said that was the first win of the season for Srigley Motorsports. Silly me not remembering that Nathan Hudson is a 2-time winner for that team. Eli Bright was ready for the start. Yepez did not appear to be. And now he's drifted all the way back to 5th place as Chelsea Bowles moves into 2nd by Phil Parker. William Brock looking for 3rd. And here comes the 31, looking for the race lead. So yeah, probably Eli Bright was not wanting to see that caution flag, because he was doing a pretty good job holding the lead. Now he's doing a good job of fading out of the podium positions. So Bowles to the front. Now this one I know for certain I'm saying correctly. If Chelsea Bowles wins tonight, it's the first win of the season for Fitzwater Australia Racing, because I know for certain that Chelsea Bowles, nor Kyle Langeland, nor Daniel Olson, none of them have gone to victory lane yet this year. Battle for 2nd. Parker has it. Brock wants it. Eli Bright slotted back in 4th, now trying to make his way back to the front. On to Baranauskas, who started on the pole, now back up to 5th place. And goes to the inside of the 5. That'll be for 4th. So 2 of the cars out of William Brock Motorsports having decent outings here tonight, the 2 and the 62. Talked about Chelsea Bowles and her teammates haven't gone to victory lane yet. One of her teammates is working his way up towards the front right now, that bright yellow 32 of Daniel Olson. trying to get by the 21 of Diego Yepez. That would be for 10th place. Right behind him comes the 70 of Joshua Osborne, locked into the playoffs. And look, a couple cars back behind him, there's James Shelly. Shelly's still got an opportunity if he can pick up a second win this season and get a good run next week at M&M's. He can find himself in the playoffs. And there's still a ways to go, so there's still plenty of time for that to possibly happen. It's up front. Chelsea Bowles continues to lead. Baranauskas is currently in second. Looks like the best battle is going to be for third place. Jordan Lopez to the inside, Eli Bright to the outside. A couple of Ford Mustangs to fight it out for that final podium spot. Jessica Miles in the 25, G Sydnor the 24. We're starting to see some new players up here in the top 10. Lopez trying to clear for third, can't do it. Meanwhile, A Baranauskas able to devote all her attention to the car in front of her, Chelsea Bowles in the 31. First and second have a bit of a gap back to third place. Baranauskas looking low. 31 goes and blocks a little bit, pinches the 2 down. You can only do that so many times. Chelsea Bowles' last win, I believe last year, if I remember correctly, at, I want to say FTF. Yes, it was. Baranauskas' last win, believe it or not, was right here at this racetrack 1 year ago. A Baranauskas winning at Hillside. Baranauskas was not the inaugural winner at Hillside, though. The inaugural winner was Ace Garcia. We saw him in last night's Tax Truck Series race. Baranauskas is the only one in this field here tonight that has previously won a Pizza Deck Series race at Hillside Raceway. Baranauskas trying to get to that left rear quarter panel, especially there out of turn number 4, but 31 of Chelsea Bowles just able to get down just low enough to not allow Baranauskas to get to the inside. Meanwhile, this battle back here for third place continues on between Lopez, Bright, now James Shelly, Jessica Miles, as well as Joshua Osborne, and now Yin Canarillo's up here in the 6th. Canarillo is in the hunt for a playoff position or a Daytona winner in this good run right now that he's having. If he can finish it out, that could definitely put him in good stead heading into M&M's. Wide back here, Joshua Osborne, Eli Bright, Jessica Miles, they settle it out. Now D Shears, another driver like Canarillo that's in the conversation. I don't know why I'm burping so much right now, but he needs a good run. Does the 7, our winner from Rio, and he's going to get by Yin Canarillo for, I believe that's 8th place. 34 and the 25 starting to break away. If they get single file, they may be able to start running down this duo. Just a matter of staying in line. This track, like I said, it's like a super speedway. And so we could end up having 2-car tandems here. Let's see if there's any gap difference when they cross the line. They were about a second back, was Lopez in 3rd. Let's see if he and Miles close up the gap at all here in their 2-car tandem. And it stayed about the same. These two get side by side, and, well, never mind. I was going to say if they stay side by side and Miles and Lopez stay single file, they could reel those two in, but now they're battling for 3rd place again. Slow car here. That's the slow machine of Cody Llamas, who got involved in our only caution, and he's not going to play much of a factor. Both drivers going to get to the inside of him and be able to make their way by. Not the run that Cody was looking for after his win last week at Gateway. Cody is now scored in the 40th position. He was 19th in the points coming into this race. He's got to keep himself in the top 30 and hope he can stay ahead of other former winners this season. Laps winding down. How much longer will Baranauskas wait? Got the 92 and 29 side by side. They are at the start-finish line, well, they're actually at the back straightaway going into 3. Leaders are coming out at 2, so I don't know if they're going to catch those 2 race cars or not. Keep in mind, if they do, both those cars are teammates to the 2 of Baranauskas, so you can bet they would probably do everything in their power to try and help their teammate win this race for the 2nd straight year. Baranauskas wants to do it on her own power, though. She's trying to get that car down to the inside out of 2. Cannot do it. These 2 drivers are at the start-finish line now. Leaders are at the start-finish line now with 2 laps to go. I don't think they're going to catch that traffic. So it's all up to A Baranauskas whether she's going to win this race or not. Chelsea Bowles trying to run that defensive line through the exit of the corner, and so far it's been working. Baranauskas may have to use the bumper to get by Chelsea Bowles, and she's only going to have 2 more tries here as the white flag is displayed. Baranauskas forge a hole to the bottom. Wasn't close enough that time. 1 more shot here in 3 and 4. Trying to look low, almost there, but the 31 pinches her, and Chelsea Bowles is going to get her first win of the season here tonight at Hillside. Great battle there, and boy, Chelsea Bowles knew exactly what she needed to do. Catering to the weaknesses of the 2 car on the exit of the corner, and Chelsea Bowles will get her 2nd win of her career, 1st win of the season. I don't know if this is going to be enough for Chelsea Bowles to get herself into competition for one of the playoff positions. Something tells me very unlikely, but a struggling season for the driver that finished runner-up for the championship last year. At least there's a bit of a silver lining in that dark cloud, as Chelsea Bowles not only gets her 1st win of the season, but that's Fitzwater Australia Racing's 1st Pizza X Series win of the year as well. So Chelsea Bowles comes away with the victory here tonight. Baranauskas was the only driver that had a chance of taking it away but could not do it. We'll have to settle for 2nd. Yin Canario, great run there in 3rd. That may have just sealed his chase hopes with a podium run. Jessica Miles gets 4th, 5th for Eli Bright. James Shelly, we'll have to see how much further up in the point standings this finish brings him. He may have to rely on a miracle next week at M&M's to get into the playoffs, but at least he got a top 10. Joshua Osborne, this will all but lock him up a spot in the playoffs in 7th. Quentin Moore brings it home 8th. Jordan Lopez, this will lock him up a playoff spot, finishing 9th. And maybe Dougie Shears, we'll have to see. Dougie Shears may have locked himself up a playoff spot with this finish of 10th. We'll have to see if that's the case. Nathan Hudson, 11th place. Up and down, in and out of the top 30. Looks like he's back in the top 30 with this run, so that's going to take away a playoff spot from somebody else again. We're going to have to wait and see who it's going to be. Mason Wood finished in 12th. Great run for him. Garrett Sydnor, Diego Yepez, and Daniel Olson completed your top 15. She look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, and some drivers with Hudson's good run that needed a good run didn't get it, like Justin Tucker, 22nd. He was a driver that was really needing a good run. Diego Yepez was actually another one, too, that needed a top 10 run with Hudson's good finish. So it's going to be close as to who it's going to be. Will it be Yepez, Shears, Tucker, Jackson, Davidson? Who of those drivers are going to maybe get knocked out of the playoffs because of Hudson making back in the top 30? My money would probably be on the 29 of Mark Davidson, finishing last car in the lead lap in the 39th position. Cody Lamas went to victory lane last week. This week, 40th place for him, so we'll have to see where he's situated. The good news for him is there were some other drivers that had wins this season behind him in the point stands that also didn't have the best of runs, like Charles Jackson, mentioned Mark Davidson, also Aubrey Eselstein finishing in the 37th position, and 2 drivers as well that came into this race locked in the playoffs that got DNFs. Carson Gum came into this race 13th in points, and Scott Roush came in 11th in points. They'll finish out of the race 41st and 42nd. So, there's no doubt Hillside has definitely shaken the points up, but the question is, who are the 12 drivers now heading into our regular season finale at M&M's that may be your playoff drivers, depending on what happens in the M&M's Superspeedway race. But Chelsea Bowles at least gets her first win of the season. Definitely a morale booster for that team, you gotta think, being outside the top 30 in the points with very little chance of making it into the playoffs. But hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race from Hillside. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to Compare with the Crew today. We've shown you full finish results. These are your rookie point standings and your overall point standings heading into next week's race. Well, actually, I should say 2 weeks race from now, as we've got an off week for Pizza Hut next week, and then the following week it's the regular season finale at M&M's to determine the chase for the championship. We cap off this race weekend here, though, with the Hershey's Cup Series race from Hillside. Not going to want to miss that one because the point standings and the drivers that are competing for spots in the championship chase there, it's nerve-wracking, and it's probably going to be a wild one tomorrow night. So till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. Good night from Hillside.